at Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago.
So, again, these are all of his Trumpy friends over there at Mar-a-Lago, and he had his little speech. I also keep in mind that the judge earlier in the day warned Donald Trump, warned both sides to not incite violence.
Yep. Or there'll be a gag order.
So remember I talked about George Soros, and Donald Trump brought up Soros and he brought up Bragg. Have a listen to what he had to say here.
Election interference at a scale never seen before in our country, beginning with the radical left, George Soros-backed prosecutor Alvin Bragg of New York, who campaigned on the fact that he would get President Trump. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. This is a guy campaigning. He wanted to get President Trump at any cost, and this before he knew anything about me, didn't know a thing about me. He was campaigning.
All right, so what? My response to that is, so what? That doesn't change the fact that you're facing 34 felony counts.
Exactly.
So what? And then Trump goes on, and he starts talking about how the case shouldn't have been brought from the beginning, and he says, everybody agrees with me. Listen to this lie.
As it turns out, virtually everybody that has looked at this case, including rhinos and even hardcore Democrats, say there is no crime and that it should never have been brought.
Well, yeah, maybe some people on Fox News are saying that. Maybe the people that brown nose you.
What liar said
it's... Well, he's lying. There's tons of people with tremendous law backgrounds that are saying that this case does have merit. So again, Donald Trump is lying. He's making a generalization that everybody agrees, rhinos and Democrats.
Who is everybody? The grand jury?
Well, he's
the people who matter?
He's lying. Donald Trump is lying. Everybody does not feel that way. Again, so many lies and generalization in his speech last night. And then he goes on to talk about Bragg. You know, have a listen to this. It gets worse.
He knew there was no case. That's why last week he delayed for a month and then immediately took that back and threw this ridiculous indictment together. Came out today, everybody said, this is not really an indictment. There's nothing here. My lawyers came to me and they said, there's nothing here. They're not even saying what you did. The criminal is the district attorney because he illegally leaked massive amounts of grand jury information.
Again, not true. And as far as the indictment is concerned, it's pretty specific.
It's written in facts what you did.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. It seems to be pretty easy to read to me. So again, Donald Trump is lying. But here's where it gets really interesting because, as you know, Donald Trump has this picture on his little Truth Social, which, by the way, is going under. He's got this picture of him with a baseball bat, and then next to it is a picture of Bragg. Any reasonable person would say that's inciting violence.
It sure is.
Any reasonable person would say that's absurd, that's inciting violence.
You can speculate that he's looking to hit Alvin Bragg with a bat, which incites violence.
Of course. So yesterday, the judge addressed, in respectful but stern fashion to both sides, to be fair, that the judge, and I'm paraphrasing here, will not tolerate any incitement of violence.
As he shouldn't.
You know, and Donald Trump has the right to say, I'm innocent, these are false charges, I'm innocent, fine, go ahead. But once again, just about an hour or two after Donald Trump Jr. posted a picture of the judge's daughter on social media, Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago went after the judge. Have a listen to this.
Have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris and now receives money from the Biden-Harris campaign, and a lot of it.
So what Donald Trump is doing there is the same thing he did. Remember when he went after the Mexican judge? He went after the Mexican judge, and the case couldn't be handled properly because the judge is from Mexican descent. By the way, that judge was born here in the United States of America. But this is what Donald Trump will do time and time again. He'll go after the judges. He'll go after the attorneys. He'll go after anybody that is going after him.
While making up stories in the process.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is a page from the Donald Trump playbook. It'll be interesting to see if the judge does anything about this.
How long can he be a pathological liar before others realize he's a pathological liar?
Well,
I just don't get it.
Well, it's pretty simple. It doesn't really matter how many times he lies.
Anything that deals with Trump feels like a huge trauma response.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And I think what hit the nail right on the head, Jamie, is Heidi Heitkamp. She's a former congresswoman, and she was doing an interview on ABC, and she asked a very poignant question. And I raised this on social media yesterday. Where's Melania Trump? Have a listen to this.
Listen.
My initial reaction is Donald Trump is not a happy man. He never likes being in a room where he's not in charge. And so this is a tough day for him. My second thing is, where's Melania? I mean, when you look at this, you can do all the legal analysis, but Donald Trump knows that he's on a huge stage today. Everyone's watching. And behind all of this boring kind of business falsification argument is allegations of sexual liaisons.
Yes, that's right. There is an open rape case involving Donald Trump in the civil courts, but she raises a very interesting question, and I'll ask this to all of you. Where's Melania Trump?
Nowhere to be seen.
I mean, this is still her husband, right? I mean, it doesn't appear.
Would you want to be next to him?
Doesn't appear. Well, she's still married to him.
I don't care how married you are. You're going to a court to talk about why you cheated on me and if it's true or not.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Melania Trump married Donald Trump for his lavishly good looks. I'm sure it had to do.
I love
with,
your satire.
I'm sure it had. I'm sure it had nothing to do with his money, and I'm sure it had everything to do with what a great person Donald Trump is and his looks. But with that being said,
you're not going to disrespect my image.
Most people in this country, wives that stick with their husbands, will stick with them through thick and thin, and it could even be a court case like this. Barron and Melania Trump were nowhere to be found.
I don't blame her.
Nowhere to be found, and I'm shocked they are still married at this point. But this case, while he's not, been charged with any felony counts, it's not a felony to cheat on your wife. It's not a felony to, for lack of a better term, raw dog a porn star. That's not against the law. But it has to be extremely embarrassing for Melania Trump. She knows what took place here. And I think it's very, very telling that she wasn't there at all yesterday. Marjorie Taylor Greene showed up for about 5 minutes. And then she was ran out of town, thank God.
Booed out.
Yeah. George Santos, the compulsive liar, was there for about 5 minutes. And then he was railed out.
Yep.
And, it was just basically Trump's attorneys, and that was pretty much it. And Melania Trump, no family members, nobody anywhere to be found. I find that to be very, very telling. And again, you're going to hear the